Hello, and welcome to Adult Day Programs 101. What are they and how can they help me and my loved one? My name is Heather McKetto. I am the director of the Senior Day Program at James L. West in Fort Worth, Texas. A little bit about me. I have been working with older adults for nearly 25 years now, and I have a master's degree in Dementia and Aging Studies from Texas State University in San Marcos and a bachelor's degree in music therapy from Sam Houston in Huntsville, Texas. I have spent my career doing activities as well as running senior living communities, independent living, assisted living, and memory care. And now just so pleased to be here running the Adult Day program at James L. West. Did you know that James L. West has been in operation since 1993? And we actually started as the Adult Day program. It was a collaboration with the Presbyterian Church across the street from us on Summit Avenue. And James L. West, as we know it today, grew from that. So we offer residential care, which is licensed nursing 24/7. We have respite care, which is where your loved one can come and stay with us for a short amount of time so that you can take a vacation or get some much needed rest. We also obviously have our day program, and we are so excited to be at our location at 6050 Harris Parkway. So we are the first satellite location of James L. West. And then on Summit Avenue, we now have Medicare certified short-term rehab because we know when somebody goes into a rehab following a hospital stay, maybe they had a broken hip or had surgery, we know that typically those patients don't do well in a normal rehab setting. So we are dementia specific so that all of our staff are trained and experts at working with people with dementia and really getting those good outcomes for people with dementia who need a short-term rehab situation. A little bit about dementia caregiving. We know now that about 1 in 9 people ages 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's dementia. And most of the care that these people receive is coming from the informal caregivers, family members and friends that are setting aside time and resources to care for the person that they know. And so most people with Alzheimer's and other dementias do not live in a senior living facility, but they live in their homes. And a lot of the caregivers that we see are primarily women, and a lot of them are also taking care of children. So they're raising their own children, and now they're taking care of an aging parent. So a little bit about an adult day program. We are a facility where older adults go during the day, and it's a chance to have fun, to meet new people, and to engage in meaningful activities. We are licensed by the state of Texas Health and Human Services, just like any other aging services provider. And we do have annual surveys and unannounced visits, all those type of things to make sure that we are meeting the state guidelines for adult day programs. And the benefit to our program for the caregiver is you can drop your loved one off. You don't stay with them. So you have that time to then run errands, enjoy some rest, maybe some relaxation, or maybe you have to go to work, but you know that your loved one is being taken care of and is not sitting at home by themselves, and you're not having to worry. We are an extra set of eyes trained to notice those little things, to notice those changes in your loved one. We get to know them. And so we're an extra set of eyes that might notice a problem that you haven't noticed or something that you might have thought was normal that maybe it's not. We also are a secured location. So your loved one is free to walk around. A lot of times people talk about wandering. They're free to wander. And we make sure that we are respecting their interests and choices. And so they're staying safely in our day program rather than staying home alone. So our senior day program, we start with a warm, welcoming greeting. We know our participants by name. We'll reorient them, helping them to feel comfortable, provide any needed reassurance and a name tag. And then we structure our day with meaningful activities, and they are designed by an activity director with 24 years of experience in the field. So these activities are specific for people with dementia, and the activities are geared towards the likes and abilities of each participant. We offer a continental breakfast, a hot lunch, and afternoon snacks, and we can provide reminders for toileting. We can provide hands-on incontinent care if that's needed. We provide assistance with eating and enjoying meals. Things like we can cut up the food, we can provide special utensils that make it easier for people who have tremors to feed themselves. We also can offer finger foods, and we can provide needed medication with a doctor's order, as we do have a nurse on staff who is here 8 hours a day, as well as an RN nursing consultant. We do ongoing health monitoring, which includes blood pressure checks, weight checks, vital signs, and we have regular care plan meetings with you, the family member, because we want to provide you with updates of things that we're seeing, information about how your loved one participates, and we have support groups that can be very helpful for you as a caregiver. So what the day program is not, the day program is not a day care. It may seem small, but words matter. And when we're talking about older adults, we are talking about people who are mature and have lived their whole lives, and they just happen to have dementia. So they're not going to a daycare, they are going to a senior day program. I like to say that we are a senior center with a little bit of extra support. So not a daycare. And we're also not a substitute for nursing home placement. We do try to help fill in that gap, especially when we know that you want to leave your loved one at home and do not want to place them in a facility. But there are times that a person may not be appropriate for a program if a nursing home is what is needed. So for example, no one comes to our program to sleep all day. They come to interact, they come to have that social engagement, they come to have fun. We cannot manage physically aggressive behaviors or dangerous behavior expressions. We do know that from time to time, dementia may cause some agitation or frustration, or the person with dementia is having difficulty getting out what they want to tell us. And that's something that we can manage. But if they are a danger to themselves or others, if they are banging at the door, yelling, trying to get out, things like that are not manageable in our adult day program setting. We also do not do two-person transfers out of a wheelchair or any kind of full lifts, you may hear it referred to as, or take care of ongoing skilled needs. So if the person is considered bedbound and is lifted by a Hoyer into their wheelchair and comes to the day program, they're not going to be appropriate, because we're going to have to be able to have them help us with transfers for things like toileting, any clothing changes that might be needed, that kind of thing. And then we say the person must agree to be there. And obviously, that is something that we'll talk about some more, because it can take a little bit of encouragement to get your loved one to try our day program, but we will talk through what that looks like. And then we try to be very upfront and honest with people that there may become a time where the day program is no longer a good fit. And that won't be a surprise to you because of our ongoing care conferences and communications with you, as well as just open and honest communication at the beginning as to what we do and do not provide. So if we get to the point where your loved one is no longer appropriate for the program, we can assist you with finding other resources and other supports that might be a better fit. Our typical participant, somebody who should not be home alone. And if you're looking into the day program, you probably have come to the conclusion that your loved one shouldn't be left home alone. Or if you leave them alone for a half an hour to run an errand, you worry about them the whole time. So that's the type of participant that we have at the day program. This person may need assistance with their activities of daily living. That's something like going to the bathroom, preparing meals. They're not able to remember to eat the meal that you leave for them if they stay home by themselves. Maybe they need assistance with mobility, someone to walk alongside them. This person would not be able to prepare their meals. They may be confused about the date and time. Sometimes our participants have a history of depression, they're lonely, and they're not able to initiate activity on their own. Whereas you and I might love an afternoon to ourselves to read or watch television or call a friend, catch up on a hobby. The person living with dementia who comes to the day program is somebody that if they're at home, they're probably falling asleep or they're bored and they're not able to come up with a way to fill that time. So that's why they come to our program to benefit from the social engagement. They may do things like exit seeking, they may wander, they may have some behavior expressions, they may get anxious, they may misplace their items, they may need reminders and encouragement to feel safe in their environment. Our participants can be redirected in a group setting and typically are in the early to middle stages of dementia. And I say typically because we do want to help our participants for as long as we can, provided that it's safe for them and safe for the group, and that they're still benefiting from being in our program and benefiting from the activities and the social engagement. So here is a rough example of a participant that we would have in our day program. This particular woman is 75 years old and was diagnosed with dementia about 2 years ago. She lives at home with her daughter, but she spends all day watching TV and napping. And we know that for people with dementia, TV is not very meaningful. They have a difficult time following the storyline. There may be things that are frightening to them in the program that they don't understand. So right away, this woman is basically spending her time bored. She becomes anxious. She takes all of her clothes out of her drawers and packs and tells her daughter she's going home. Then the daughter spends her day telling mom she is at home. And then, of course, that causes an argument. This participant still dresses herself, but often she wears multiple layers and mismatched jewelry. She may forget to comb her hair. One time she went out to get the mail and didn't return and was gone for over a half an hour. And her daughter was able to find her about 2 blocks from the house. If they do leave the house together, mom forgets where they're going and asks the daughter multiple questions. Because mom's napping during the day, she's not sleeping well at night. So daughter is up most of the night trying to supervise mom. Does any of this sound familiar to you? This is a cumulative example of what a lot of our participants' families go through. Here's another participant example, this time a gentleman, 87 years old, who had dementia diagnosis about a year ago, but he definitely had symptoms earlier than that, but was able to hide them. He lives with his wife, and he is used to being in charge. He is used to making the decisions, and he expects to still do that. He gets up each day, puts on his professional clothes, and reads the newspaper. But by noon, he's napping because he's bored. His wife tries to get him interested in puzzles, things that he used to enjoy, but they don't hold his interest. He still wants to drive, and so they argue about that each day. His wife offers to take him anywhere he wants to go, but he doesn't know where. So the wife starts to visit local memory care facilities, but she feels her husband won't fit in because he's really okay. But then the wife starts to have her own health issues because we know that being a caregiver is hard, and she's caring for her husband and she's getting worn down. So the son steps in and tells mom she has to get some help with that. So our typical day at the day program, we follow a daily path. And that is where the day has the same similar structure in the morning every day, because that is comforting to the person living with dementia. They come to the day program in the morning, they have a good idea of what to expect. So we like to alternate cognitive activities where we're using our brain and we're seated with movement and physical activity so that we can break up these activities, short activities due to the short attention span of many of our folks who have dementia. And that helps them be able to better follow what's going on. And so I tell participants this, and I truly mean it. We never force anyone to participate, but we encourage. And we get to know our participants and we find out what they like, what they used to enjoy doing, and we program that way. So we find something that is going to be meaningful for them so we can get them to participate. And we do a calendar and we do have activities scheduled, but there are times that they don't work. It's a different group than we expected, or different people are here, or we've had a really busy day. And by the end of the day, we need to just turn some music on and do a little bit of relaxation. Whereas we thought we might have a discussion group, it's not the time. So there are changes and variations to the schedule based on the fact that we do know our folks and we want to tailor to them. So for example, on this particular day, we open at 7:30 every day. And so between 7:30 and 9, we offer a continental breakfast. Just like the person might do if they were at home, they might have a cup of coffee, they might sit and talk with some friends and have breakfast. Then at 9:30, we start our programming, and we start that with the Daily Chronicle and This Day in History. And those are one-page, sort of like a newspaper of positive news aimed at older adults, aimed at people with dementia. And it will talk about, different holidays. If it's International Friendship Day, there might be a short little discussion and article about friendship. Or if it is Columbus Day, we might talk about that holiday. So it has alternates current events with things that the older adult will typically remember. After we do that, we have a non-denominational devotional, and that is something that our participants help lead. Many of them like to read the devotional books. Many of them like to lead us in prayer. And of course, if someone does not want to participate, that's fine also. We've had other folks that choose to do something in a small group at that time because they don't want to participate in the devotional. And again, that is their choice. After we do that, we have exercise. We know that if it is good for your heart, it's good for your brain. And many of our folks have been sitting for a while. And so we want to get up and move around. And we do exercise that's easily modified for people who need to sit, for people who have some different mobility challenges, so that we can all exercise safely, but get the benefits of the stretching and moving around and all of that at the same time. Then we get ready for our meal. And one of the things that I think is important is that the lunch meal feel like an activity, that it feels like a highlight of the day. Eating is a social activity. Many of us look forward to our lunch break. So we set up the dining room to look like a nice dining room. We have white tablecloths. We have cloth napkins, and our participants help us to set the table. Our participants do the weekly floral arranging so that we have lovely centerpieces on the table. And so it feels more like an event. It's not just, eat and hurry. This is lunch. And so we also have them all wash their hands, and then one of our participants will lead us in prayer, and then we'll have our lunch. And then depending on how long lunch goes, sometimes there's a lot of discussion and friendship and talking. And so we can delay our 1 o'clock activity. But on this particular day, we had planned the 1 o'clock, you be the judge discussion group. Then we followed that by parachute and ball. Again, we've been sitting a while. It's time to get back up and do some movement, get the music going. We have music therapy with Julia. James O. West as an organization feels very strongly about the benefits of music therapy for people living with dementia. So at the day program, we have music therapy twice a week. We have 2 different board certified music therapists that come and do music therapy with our group. And it is definitely a highlight of the week. Every day at 3 o'clock, we have snacks. And then from 3:30 to the end of the day, we are open till 6. People tend to start leaving around 3:30. And so we will do small group activities. You might see table games. You might see large piece puzzles. Maybe we're having a group chat. Maybe some people are reading magazines. A little bit of variety in the afternoon based on our participants. I won't read off the list of all the other activities offered, only to say that we do a wide variety of activities. And for every participant that joins our group, chances are there's a new activity that we design, because we get to know them and find out what they enjoy or what they have enjoyed and figure out how to make that into an activity. but we do go on outings. We've gone to picnics, we've gone scenic drives, we've gone out for ice cream. We even took our gentleman to Cabela's one time to take a look at all of the displays and just talk about hunting and fishing and boating. So there is something for everybody at the Senior Day program. We do have a purpose for what we're doing, goals for our programming. And the first one is to help the participant maintain the current abilities that they have for as long as possible. And so by being up and out of the house and being around other people and having their mind stimulated, that is going to help them to slow their dementia journey as much as possible and help them to maintain their current ability. Again, we want to reduce that depression and anxiety and behavioral expressions that can come with dementia. It can be scary for the person with dementia when they realize they don't remember something or they forget where they are or where they were going. So we're going to try to keep them active and keep them involved in something meaningful and take their focus away from those feelings of depression and anxiety. We're giving the participant an opportunity to socialize with others, a chance to form connections. Just because somebody is living with dementia, they are still a social person. They still have the desire and the need to be around other people and the desire to feel connected to something. And so the day program gives them that. We also give them the opportunity to make their own decisions. So often the person with dementia has more and more decisions taken away from them. They probably don't get to say where they want to live. They may have been moved into a home of an adult child. They don't do the grocery shopping anymore. They don't get to take their car and just go where they'd like to go. So a lot of decisions and freedom have been taken from them. So we want to give them the opportunity to make decisions. And that can be something as simple as, do you want to listen to music or would you like to sit outside? Do you want to sit at this table for lunch or would you like to make a new friend? Yes or no, do you want to participate with the group or do you want to sit and read a magazine? They have the right to make those decisions. And so part of our job in activity programming is to come up with ways for them to feel like they've made a decision, for them to have an opinion that matters. Again, a sense of purpose and usefulness, a reason to get out of bed in the morning. Coming to the day program should be something to look forward to. So we want to give them a sense of purpose. And a lot of our folks, again, everything is done for them now, and they want to be useful. We had a lady that attended our program for a little over a year, and every day after breakfast, she wanted to clean the kitchen. And at first, staff said, "Oh, no, we'll clean it, we'll clean it." But why would we take that opportunity away from her? She wanted to clean the kitchen. She wanted to be helpful. She loved the staff. She knew that if she was at home and had made breakfast, she would clean up her kitchen. And so we had to reframe our thought process. It's not that we're making the participant do work. We are allowing the participant to feel useful. And so I was doing a tour one time and we walked through and passed by the kitchen, and this particular participant, she was on her hands and knees scrubbing the bottom of the refrigerator. And it certainly looks a little strange, but at the same time, she's happy as can be and greeted me in the tour. And I just explained, this is important to her. She wants to spend this 15 minutes after breakfast cleaning, and then she joins the group. So it's not something we want to take away from her. A lot of our participants like to help set the table. They like to read aloud to the group. And so anytime we can give someone a chance to be useful and helpful with others, we want to do that. And then also our goal, we get to know the person. We know who they are. We get to see what they've enjoyed. And then we figure out how we can adapt those activities for them now. So often people will say, well, my husband loved to read, but he can't read anymore. Okay, maybe he can enjoy an audiobook. He can sit for a discussion group. Or, mom used to like to sew, but she can't sew, it's not safe. Well, maybe we can do a simple sewing activity. Or we could do a show and tell day where she could bring in some of her favorite things that she had made. There's always a way to adapt a hobby or a talent to an activity. So benefits of the day program for the participant. Again, it's something for them to look forward to. It's a routine, something that they get to do that's special for them. They get to go see their friends. They get to get out of the house. They get to meet new people. The activities are geared to their level. Activities are set up so the person with dementia can be successful, so that they can feel comfortable. So often, the person with dementia starts to withdraw because they don't feel comfortable in social settings. Perhaps they're forgetting the words. Maybe they forget their friends' names. They see people at church and they know that they should know who they are, but they can't remember. And so then they stop going out to lunch with their church friends. Then they stop going to Bible study, and before you know it, they don't even want to go to church. So they're withdrawing. But when they come to the day program, forgetting someone's name is not an issue. I have participants that will tell me, I have dementia. I don't know if I can come. And I'm like, everybody here has challenges, and we're glad you're here. Or everybody here has a little bit of dementia, and that's okay. Just that reassurance, and they will feel comfortable knowing that they can fit in. It's a great opportunity for them to stay awake during the day. They're having that cognitive stimulation, they're having physical stimulation with getting up and tossing the ball or walking around outside. And these activities will help them to sleep better at night. With not being bored, with participating in something that has meaning, there's going to be fewer behavioral expressions. Again, feeling useful, having those human connections that we all need, having their physical needs met in a safe environment, and then doing activities that they may not be able to do at home. Most of us don't have entertainers come to our house. Most of us don't have a big group that we can sit and chat with. So they get to do things here that they wouldn't get to do at home. In fact, I had a family member tell me one time, my husband comes to the day program Monday through Friday, but on the weekend, I feel like a cruise ship director trying to keep him busy. So we really are able to provide that activity and that stimulation that they would not receive at home. And then just as important are the benefits for you, the caregiver. You need a break. You work hard, you are taking care of an aging parent or taking care of your spouse. You need a break to work, to rest, to have your own social outlet, maybe to get a massage, maybe to go to a support group. You won't have to worry because you know your loved one is being taken care of and you can relax. James L. West has 30 years of experience in caring for older adults with dementia. So you can relax and not worry. Your loved one is well taken care of. Your loved one is going to sleep better at night, so you're going to sleep better at night too. You will see a reduction in that depression and anxiety. Some people even have told me, my mom is so talkative on the way home. She doesn't even seem tired. She's so happy. Or my wife is singing the radio again on the way home from the day program. That to me speaks volumes as to what the benefit is for that participant being at the day program. Again, you may be determined to leave your loved one at home with you and not place them in a memory care or a nursing home. And again, using the day program can bridge that gap. It can help make that time longer that your loved one can stay at home. And with them doing the activities that are meaningful and having that engagement, that can also keep them active longer. We are definitely more cost effective than in-home care. We know now that in-home care can be as much as $20 to $25 an hour. And our senior day program is $110 per day. So you can see that it's much more cost effective than home care. And it has that added benefit of the social component. So often people tell me, we have a caregiver come in, but they just sit and look on their phone. So mom's not really benefiting from that interaction. But when she comes to the day program, she's got a whole room full of people to engage with. And then that extra set of eyes trained to notice symptoms and changes. So over the past 2 years, I've listened to a lot of families and their concerns and challenges and things that are preventing them from using the day program or preventing them from getting their family member to want to attend. So I want to address some of those. And I want to tell you that it's normal to be nervous. Just making the first call to the day program is so hard. You may feel like you've tried everything. You may not know if your loved one would be appropriate, if they would agree to attend. So congratulations for just taking that first step because it's not easy. So one of the concerns I hear a lot is from wives, and they say to me, my husband does not look like those people. The wife and I will be walking through the program, and we'll be talking through what we have to offer, and that's what she'll say. My husband doesn't look like them. And honestly, that can stem from pride. It can stem from fear of the unknown. What is my husband's dementia journey going to look like? What will we go through? And it can also be some denial. We tend to see what we want to see. We're with our loved one all day, every day. And to us, they are the person that they always were. And so it can be very surprising when we realize how other people perceive our loved one. Again, dementia is not a one size fits all. Everyone's dementia journey looks different. Physical limitations do not always match the cognitive limitations. Some of our participants are very young looking. They're attractive, they're stylish, they speak well. You might not realize they have dementia. That's one of the reasons we always say, make sure nobody follows you out the door. A lot of our people, if you didn't know they were at a senior day program, look just like everyone else because honestly, they are. They're just like everyone else. They're just living with a dementia illness. So we have people in our program from the ages of 58 to 95. So if your husband is 60, no, he probably physically doesn't look like someone who's 90. But in the room with those folks participating in meaningful activities, he is going to find a connection with everyone in that room. We have a wide variety of functioning levels and a wide variety of interests. And I think that is a positive thing because if you're bringing your loved one and they are on the higher end of cognition compared to some in our group, or they're more physically able, that's fantastic for them. They can have a chance to help someone else. They can have a chance to really us get to know them. So that way we know what works. And then as they progress, as they change, we will have a better knowledge of them and a better history with working with them. So it allows us to help them for as long as possible. It gets the participant a chance to maybe feel like they're the rock star, when they're around their church friends or their fishing buddies, they feel forgetful and maybe they sometimes feel less than. But when they're here at the day program, they feel great, and they're helping other people. Maybe they are having a conversation with a staff member, they're reminiscing, they're helping to plan an activity. Those are all ways that we can help that person who is earlier on in their journey to feel stimulated and important and that the day program is still for them. There are a lot of benefits to starting early. Again, the staff gets to know your loved one. We get to know what works. And so often when a caregiver finally calls me, they're exhausted. They're depressed. They're burned out. They may be dealing with their own health issues. They think I've tried everything. And if this doesn't work, I'm placing my loved one. Whereas if they had started sooner, it might have been, this is something we're going to try as a part of what we're going through. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to have social engagement. And so is my husband. My husband just happens to be at a senior day program. And that is okay. One of the other concerns I hear is my mother will never agree to attend. This sounds great to me, but mom is not coming. She's not going to do it. And again, this is fear. Perhaps it's remembering a promise that you made that you would not place your mom in a facility. Or maybe you're just getting used to mom saying no about everything. And this will just be another thing she says no to. We know that older adults with dementia are isolated. They start to feel those symptoms of depression. And it's true. If you ask mom, you want to go to the day program? She very well might say no, because it's that fear of the unknown. It's that fear of being out of control. When mom is at home, even if mom is bored and she's sitting in her chair all day and she's half asleep, mom is in control. Mom knows what to expect. She doesn't expect a lot, and she's used to the same day over and over again. So you say, hey, let's go to the day program. That does not have meaning to her. She doesn't know what that means. She doesn't know what to expect. But something like, mom, we're going to get out of the house today and we're going to go meet some friends. Or mom, I know you love music and there is a place down the street that is having music today and you're going to go. It can be hard to hear your loved ones say no. We are brought up to respect our parents. We want people to like us. We want to be easy to get along with. We want to hear the word yes. But as caregivers, we have to get used to hearing no. So understanding that you know your loved one best and you want to do something for them, and that is caring for them. And by caring for them, you want them to have the benefits of social engagement. So you can do things like try a short day, make a deal. You know what, mom? We're going to do this for 4 hours. I'm going to go get a haircut. You're going to make some new friends, and then we're going to go have some ice cream. And controlling your emotions. Don't letting it upset you. You know what? Mom has said no. Mom may seem a little bit upset. She may seem a little mad at you, but you know what? You got her to the day program. You got her in the door, and we'll take it from there. We will take pictures of mom having fun and email them to you. We will make sure that mom is comfortable. One of my favorite stories about this is we had a lady whose daughter decided mom was going to the day program. Mom was scared to death, but she got mom there. I said, if you can get her in the door, we will take it from there. And so the first couple weeks were a little rough. I mean, she couldn't remember where her daughter was. She got anxious. She would hold on to her purse and she would stand at the door, and we would just redirect her back into activities. And she'd participate for about 15, 20 minutes, and she'd walk back to the door and ask for her daughter. And gradually, she realized that she enjoyed being at the day program. She started to get to know other ladies. We had activities that were meaningful to her. She was able to look forward to coming to the day program. She made some friends. She had a gentleman that she liked to hold hands with. And it's kind of become something that her daughter and I laugh about, because now when she comes to pick up mom, mom doesn't want to leave. And so it can be hard to get her out of the day program. So it's important as a caregiver to just control your emotions and to be optimistic and to give it time. Another thing I hear a lot is, if I'm going to drop off my husband, I want to stay there with him. We'll do the day program together. And I totally understand where that comes from. That is that thought that we're trying something new. I want my husband to be comfortable. I don't want him to feel like I'm abandoning him. I don't want him to feel like I'm not coming back. Or what if he gets upset? Or what if this happens or that happens? Or he never leaves my side. You're bringing your loved one somewhere new. And that is hard to do. It makes sense that you would be afraid. It makes sense that you would worry. That's normal. But your job is to project just a positive attitude and be very calm about it and appear comfortable at drop off. Things like, honey, this is what we're doing today. I'll be back at 2:00. And then you can just go ahead and leave. And don't be afraid to talk to staff about what your concerns are. We totally understand that, this is something new. You love your husband more than anything, and you want the best for him. And this is a new program. We're new people. We're not somebody that you've known forever. So talk through it with us. What can we do to help you feel comfortable? Understand what the daily schedule is that we offer. And also what we can do to help make your loved one comfortable. And then we will have honest conversations with you about what situations would mean that we would give you a call. We're not going to let your husband sit there and, bang on the door begging to go home. We're not going to let him sit there crying miserable. We would reach out to you. We would give you a call. We're certainly going to try to redirect. We're certainly going to try to get him involved. But occasionally and very rarely, there are times where we have to place a phone call because things just are going rough that day. But again, your loved one needs that opportunity to meet other people. And if you're there with him, he or she is going to cling to you. They won't get to know anyone. If you're there, they may also complain. But once you leave, we're able to get we're able to get them involved. So often, we have men, especially, it seems to be, that just have the best day at the program, and they've socialized and they've talked and they've participated in physical activities. And then their wife shows up and they say, "Why did you leave me here?" And the wife will make a face at me like, "Oh no, he had a horrible day." But what it is you're his person. He looks forward to seeing you. And for 2, 4, 8 hours, you weren't there. And so he did have a great day. He had meaningful interaction and you had a break. But then when he sees you again, he wants to be with you. Why did you leave me here? Why weren't you here with me today? That's a normal question. He's used to spending all his time with you. But just think of how much better you'll feel after a couple hours break. And I can send you pictures and show you all that your husband has done and help reassure you that he really is benefiting and he really is comfortable. And remember, you need a break, and that is okay. Another one I hear is, "My mother was never a joiner." And this is another way that we try to talk ourselves out of having our loved one join the program. You're feeling guilty, you're feeling unsure about leaving. You know you want your loved one to be happy. Maybe you've already tried something else and you're just afraid to get your hopes up, because it's just easier to assume that this is not going to work. And it's true, not all of our participants are social butterflies, but so many times they will surprise us because we are going to work to find that activity that they will enjoy. One of the things you fill out in the application packet is a social history form. And the more that you can tell us about their hobbies, their past jobs, their current pastimes, about their family, that information all helps us to plan the activities. It's also okay for our participants to do things on their own. We do have participants who like to sit and read. They like to listen to music, but they're still benefiting because they're still around other people. They are still in a stimulating environment. They're out of their usual four walls. All of these things are still benefiting them, even if they sit and read a book by themselves for a while. They're still getting that interaction. Another one, the concern of, "I'm not going to make him do something he doesn't want to do." And again, being a caregiver is hard. We don't want to fight with our loved one. We want our loved one to be happy. If it's our spouse, we don't want to argue with them. We don't want to feel like we're disappointing them. Maybe you just don't want to have another argument. You say, "You know what, I'm going to pick my battles," and talking him into a day program just does not seem worth it. And remember, people with dementia say no because they don't know what you're asking them to do. What's the first word you hear a little child say? No. That's the first thing we learn. We say no. We want to be in control, so no. So if you're asking your loved one to come with you, you're asking them to put on clothes and get up and get in the car and try something new and not be afraid, you're asking for a lot. And so it's very easy for the person to say, "Nope, I'm not doing it." But you're the caregiver and you know in your heart that you're doing the right thing for them. So you are going to make the decision and you are going to stand firm. You're going to decide, "You know what? On Tuesday, we are going to the day program and he is going for 4 hours." And you make that your mission. And you decide it and you stand firm. And again, understand that he may have had a great day. And then you get here to pick him up and you're excited. And he says, "Why did you leave me here?" Again, you're his person. He's excited to see you. And rather than saying hi and giving you a hug, he's just, asking you why you left him here. And you know what? You left him here so he could have a fun day. And so have responses ready. Know what you're going to say when you encounter resistance from your loved one. Some families say things like, just try it for me. Your husband loves you. He wants you to be happy. He wants you to be comfortable. He may even realize that you're sacrificing so much to care for him. So, honey, try it for me. I need to go get a haircut. I need to do grocery shopping. You don't enjoy grocery shopping. Give this a try. Just give it a few hours, make an agreement. Say, you know what? I'm dropping you off at 9. I'm going to pick you up at 1 right after lunch. And then stick to that. Some of our participants are aware still of their dementia. And so things like this will help your brain, or the doctor says you need to go, blame it on the doctor, or this is part of your rehab. Again, I need some time to myself. It's okay to be honest. Or I love you and I want you to have other men to visit with. I am the only one she trusts. And if you believe that, you are probably right. You are the person that your loved one is most familiar with. It's your mom. She lives with you. Of course, you're the only one she trusts. She sees you every day. You help take care of her. You love her. She feels comfortable. She's forgotten how to be around other people. She may have gotten used to not seeing other people. And so she knows that she can trust you. But it's important to set a schedule, keep a routine. Things like trying the day program every so often, or just once a week really isn't enough for the person to get comfortable. You want to try 2 or 3 days that first week and make the day program part of her routine. Give her a chance to learn the staff, to start to trust the staff. You can reassure her you'll be back. You can give her a short little reorientation note to remind her that she's safe. She's at the senior program and you'll be back in the afternoon. And when she gets anxious, she can pull that out and look at that. One of the famous quotes that you see a lot of times when it comes to dementia is, the person with dementia may not remember our name, but they will remember how we made them feel. And that is so true. So although your mother knows you and trusts you and may be nervous to come to the day program, the more she comes, she's going to start to get to know the staff and she's going to feel comfortable. We had a participant walk in the other day and she said to my assistant director, I don't know your name, but I know I like you. Another thing we hear a lot from people is, you make me feel safe. So although they may not remember our name, they remember that feeling and they can associate coming to the day program with positive thoughts and feelings. Another concern is that he can't do anything anymore, or those activities look way too hard for him. And again, when we see changes in our loved one, sometimes we focus on who they used to be, and we start to get very focused on what they can no longer do. And so we just notice these glaring changes and we think there's no way he can come to the day program and do anything. Well, your loved one is new to us, and so it is our job to find something that he or she can do now. And if we assess your loved one and say that, yes, they're appropriate for our program, that means we're confident we're going to find an activity that they can do successfully. And again, like I mentioned before, activities on the calendar are modified and or changed based on the participants that day. Some days, certain things just don't work, and we will modify and ensure that our participants are enjoying themselves and feeling successful. We also break into smaller groups to help participants socialize with people with similar abilities. Some of our participants love to help other people. They like to be a buddy, and so that can also provide encouragement. It is okay to tell your loved one a therapeutic story to get them to attend the day program. It is also okay to tell them the truth. One of my participants was very focused on costs of the day program. And so his wife said, yes, dear, Lockheed is paying for it. So if they have retirement from a certain company, you know what, honey? That company is paying for your day program. It is one of the benefits. You work there so many years. They want you to be happy. Or your insurance is paying for it. Don't worry. I've had older adults say, is Medicare paid for this? And the family will nod at me like, say yes. And so I said, oh, absolutely. It's paid for by Medicare. And just knowing that somebody else is paying for it, they relax. Or something like, your doctor said you need to attend at least 2 times a week. It's okay to tell a therapeutic story. Or it's also okay to tell the truth. Something like, Mom, I worry when you're home alone. And, mom doesn't want you to worry. So being honest with her may be just what she needs. Or, honey, please try this. I love you and I want to know you're safe. Or, we're coming to the day program because I don't want to worry you're getting lost when I'm at work. So, you know your loved one best. You know if it's a therapeutic fib or if it is direct honesty that you need to try. Other questions, we love questions because it means you're doing your research and you're wanting the best for your loved one. So questions like, what happens if she falls? Or what happens if he needs a Tylenol? Or how can you take care of all these people? These are great questions and we appreciate you asking them. We can give you information about our staffing patterns and our staffing qualifications. We are licensed, like I said, by the state of Texas, and the state of Texas says 1 staff member for every 8 participants. At James O. West, we staff at a minimum 1 staff member for every 6 participants, and that doesn't even take into account the director. So we're always way more staffed than the minimum requirements. All of our staff go through many hours of dementia training. Many of our staff have worked in aging services for a lot of years and have a lot of education and experience. We do have emergency plans that we're happy to share with you. We do a monthly fire drill. We actually do it with our participants to help see who the ones are that really need the extra help to see who's going to be most likely to follow the staff and follow directions so that we can be ready if there was an emergency. We can provide medications and PRN as needed medications with doctor's orders, which we obtain before your loved one starts the program. And then a number of reasons why we might call you. If your loved one was sick, if your loved one had a fall and potentially had an injury, if your loved one was having a really tough day and we just felt like it was time for us to call and talk through it with you and decide if he or she needed to be picked up, then we'll give you a call. If we just are noticing a little behavior change or something slightly out of the ordinary, we might wait and just tell you at pickup. And then remember, it is hard for you to be home with your loved one 24/7. We take care of our participants 8 to 10 hours a day, and it's easier in a group setting. Our participants are more likely to stay together. They're more likely to eat when they see other people eating, more likely to stay awake instead of sleeping if there's stimulation. So, although it might seem overwhelming to think of caring for 20 people, there's that whole idea of being in a group and being part of the group, and that actually works to our advantage. We do provide a number of reassurances to our people each day. Things like your wife will be back by 5, or your daughter is at work, she picks you up at 6. Your husband called, he'll be here by 3. My favorite one, no one sleeps here. We close. Everyone goes home. We get asked that near the end of the day. Am I sleeping here? Am I staying here? No, everyone goes home. Don't have to worry. Yes, you will go home tonight. Or your daughter knows you're here. Come on, let's go join the group. Or when they start to say, am I going to have dinner here? Well, no, you'll be home for dinner, but are you hungry? Let's go have a snack. You're okay. You have friends here. We've even had families write a short note to put in the loved one's pocket, or even a short little video they've emailed that just says, Mom, you're here at the senior day program. I'm working and I'll be there by 4:30. And just seeing that little video is so reassuring. And then we go back to the activity. So, how to enroll? You'll want to visit our program, meet the staff, check out our activity calendar, have an honest conversation about the care and support your loved one needs. If it's something that happens occasionally, then it is something that's happening. Please let us know. The more you can tell us up front, the more honest and forthright you are about the care that your loved one needs, we can all make the best decision regarding their attendance at the program and regarding how to help make that first day go smoothly. There is an application and enrollment forms to complete. We do an in-person assessment of your loved one at our location, and then you can choose your days and start the program. So the first day is always harder on the caregiver than the participant. And we talk through some of those things that caregivers worry about, some of those anxieties, some of those questions. It's harder for you. Your job is to decide and stick with that decision. Start with a shorter day, maybe 9:30 to 3:30, somewhere in that. Don't get your loved one up earlier than they usually get up. Try to keep their same routine, and we'll be here, and they're welcome to arrive at whatever time works for you. We've had people that their loved one usually gets up at 8:30, but they started getting their loved one up at 6 to come to the day program. Well, they were having a really hard time getting into the day because it was so different. If you just stick with that usual 8:30 and come when you're ready, it helps make that adjustment so much easier. Again, we ask everybody to sign in. We give your loved one a name tag and they meet new people and we take it from there. But give it a few days. The first day is just the first day. You know, just like the first day, any new first day, the first day at a new job, the first day at school, the first day is just sort of finding your way around, getting to know what's going on. So that first week, trying it 2 times, 3 times, that is so much more beneficial. Give it at least, three times, 4 times before you decide that no, this isn't going to work. Again, we are here from 7:30 to 6, Monday through Friday, $110 a day. You set the schedule for your loved one based on your needs and preferences. We are so proud to offer support groups and ongoing free education programs and a Thursday support group on site for day program families. This is our team that we have currently. I'm the director. I've been working with older adults for 24 years. And Sherry, our nurse, has been working with older adults for over 10 years as a nurse. She also worked as a caregiver and has experience doing activities. Chris is our care attendant and life enrichment assistant. He's been with James L. West for 6 years. And our men just benefit so much from him because we know that males don't typically want to receive physical care or assistance, especially in the bathroom, from a woman, but they will let a man help. And we've done things as creative as pretending he's the coach. And he says, come on, we got to go. The coach says we're ready to do this. And the men will respond to him. So we try tactics like that help us to be successful in taking care of your loved one. Our assistant director is an occupational therapist with dementia activity experience, and our RN nurse consultant has over 25 years of nursing experience, and she herself is a caregiver, so she understands exactly what our families are going through. So I would like to thank you for listening to my presentation. You are welcome to stop by the day program at any time. We are always happy to welcome you in if you make an appointment. That does help us to guarantee that we'll have time to sit and give you all the time that you need, but you are welcome to drop by and feel free to give us a call. We have a Senior Day Program Facebook page, as well as jameslwest.org. Our website gives you a lot more information. I hope that we're able to help you, and I appreciate your time today.